You are 19 years old. You grew up in a small town where baseball was the only way out. Every night, you watch highlight reels of players who made it, imagining your own face on that screen. You tell yourself, talent is enough. That hard work is enough. Somewhere behind that thought, quietly, is a fear you never say out loud. That it might not be. You don't know yet how far you'll go to make sure it is. With more empty seats than fans. You wake before sunrise. You run before the heat sets in. You practice until your hands blister. Then you tape them and practice more. The pay barely covers your rent. You eat the same meal every night to save money. Your equipment is secondhand. Your bat has someone else's grip tape still on it. But you love the game. You love the crack of the bat, the smell of the dirt. Your coach tells you that you have something. You hold on to that sentence for weeks. At night, you write your stats in a small notebook, like keeping score of your own life. You promise yourself you'll do this the right way. Back home, your mother works double shifts, so you don't have to send money yet. You call her every Sunday. You always say you're doing fine. Your roommate is another rookie, just as broke, just as hopeful. You split groceries and dreams in equal measure. Game day, you're too nervous to eat. You play anyway. Your first hit in a real uniform feels bigger than it should. The bus rides between towns are long. You sleep sitting up, glove in your lap. You watch veterans stretch before games and study every movement. A scout shows up once, briefly, and doesn't stay for your at-bat. You tell yourself next time will be different. You send your mother a photo in your new uniform. She prints it out. Some nights, doubt creeps in. What if this is as far as it goes? You push the doubt down and run one more lap. Your coach pulls you aside and says the front office is watching. For the first time, the front office feels like a real thing, not a rumor. You fall asleep that night still in your practice clothes, glove beside the pillow. Not for a call-up. You watch players with less heart than you move up the ladder faster. In the locker room, a veteran hands you a bottle. Legal, he says. Everyone takes it. You read the label twice. You tell yourself it's just a supplement. The extra reps come easier. The soreness fades faster. You start sleeping less and lifting more. Nobody notices the difference. Yet, you call it discipline, when really it's the first small compromise. You start comparing your body in the mirror to the players who made it look easy. You tell yourself, this is just what it takes to compete. A trainer mentions a recovery program that costs more than your monthly rent. You skip meals to afford it. You tell your roommate it's for the vitamins. Your numbers start ticking upward, slowly, then less slowly. Coaches start using your name in meetings you're not invited to. You notice the veteran who gave you the bottle, watching your progress, nodding. You start seeking him out for advice more than your actual coach. He teaches you things that aren't in any training manual. You take notes anyway in the same notebook where you keep your stats. Your body starts changing in ways that surprise even you. You catch yourself flexing in mirrors you never used to notice. A teammate asks what changed. You give the same vague answer you were given. It's easier to repeat the lie than to invent your own. You start setting new goals for yourself. Bigger ones, faster ones. The version of you from level 1 already feels far away. You tell yourself the rules are different once you're actually trying to make it. You believe that mostly, when the lights are off and no one's watching. Start writing your name down. A local paper runs a small article about you. Your mother keeps the clipping. For the first time, strangers know who you are. You feel it. The exact thing you've been chasing your whole life. It doesn't occur to you yet that the feeling might not be free. A scout asks how you built so much strength in one off-season. You give a vague answer and change the subject. You start to understand that questions like that are easier to avoid than to answer. You sign with a AA team. Local kids start asking for your autograph outside the stadium gates. You sign every single one, remembering what it felt like to want that from someone else. A hometown diner puts your photo on the wall, next to the register. Your father, who never says much, tells a neighbor about you unprompted. You hear about it secondhand and can't stop smiling for a week. Your coach starts talking about the next level like it's already decided. Teammates start treating you differently. A little more careful, a little more distant. You realize being liked and being watched aren't quite the same thing. A regional paper runs a bigger feature. The headline calls you "Can't Miss." You cut it out and mail it to your mother before she can ask. At night, you replay your best at-bats in your head like a highlight reel. You start believing the story people are telling about you. It's a good story. You don't examine it too closely. The AA offer comes with a small signing bonus. The most money you've ever held at once. You buy your mother something small. It feels enormous to both of you. You pack a bag for the next level, and for one night, everything feels earned. Family has ever seen. You need one more good season to make sure it's real. This time, it isn't a bottle from a locker room. It's a needle in a hotel bathroom, hands shaking. You tell yourself, just this once, just to get through this year. The results are undeniable. Your body responds like it's been waiting for this. You start believing what everyone around you already believes, that the ends justify it. The guilt doesn't disappear. It just gets quieter. You learn the schedule of the drug tests. You learn how to time things. You start keeping a second phone, a second self. You start rehearsing answers to questions nobody has asked you yet. You notice other players doing the same thing, the same careful eyes, the same practiced calm. None of you talk about it directly. You don't need to. There's a strange kind of relief in not being the only one. The relief doesn't last as long as it used to. You signed the contract. It's the biggest number you've ever seen with your name next to it. You don't feel as good about it as you thought you would. The needle becomes a habit disguised as a routine. Same time, same place, same silence. You start reading forums late at night, learning which substances leave no trace. You never bookmark the pages. You never search from your own name. Your performance numbers get plotted on a chart in the training office, climbing in a way that draws attention. A reporter calls it the best off-season transformation in franchise history. You accept the compliment and change the subject quickly. At home, briefly, your family visits and everything looks normal on the surface. Underneath the surface, you're doing math about test dates instead of listening to dinner conversation. You tell yourself, once the contract is signed, you can stop. You don't quite believe it, but you say it anyway. Your name is on a jersey in a stadium of 40,000 people. Cameras find you after every home run. Reporters ask how you did it. You give the answer they want. Hard work, good genetics, God-given talent. Endorsement deals arrive. Your face is on billboards you drive past on the way home. You buy your parents a house. You tell yourself that makes it worth it. You are gone more than you are home now. Flights, hotel rooms, cities that start to blur together. Your partner sends a photo of your child's first steps. You watch it on a plane. You tell yourself there will be time for that later. A teammate gets caught. You watch the press conference from a hotel room alone. You study his mistakes like game film. Not out of sympathy, but strategy. You start being more careful. Careful becomes a full-time job alongside the actual one. Your agent tells you you're the face of the franchise now. It sounds less like an honor than a warning. You start reading contracts more closely than you read messages from home. The season ends. You realize you can't remember most of it. You fly home for the off-season. It takes a few days before it feels like you actually live there. Your child doesn't run to the door the way they used to. You hire a publicist to manage the version of you the world sees. The version they manage is easier to like than the one at home. You start doing charity appearances between road games, smiling for cameras on no sleep. Kids in the crowd wear jerseys with your name on the back. You sign one for a boy who reminds you, briefly, of yourself at that age. You wonder what he'd think if he knew everything behind the swing he admires. You decide not to think about that for very long. Your bank account grows faster than your relationships do. You tell yourself that's just the trade-off everyone at this level makes. It changes your temper, your sleep, the way you look in the mirror. Your partner finds a syringe in your gym bag and asks what it is. You lie. It's the first real lie you've told them. It won't be the last. Your child starts calling the nanny mum by accident. You laugh it off in front of everyone. Alone, you don't. Your partner starts sleeping in a different room, telling people you snore. Neither of you believes it. You throw yourself deeper into training. It's easier than sitting still with what's happening at home. You miss a birthday for a road trip. You send a gift instead. You make sure it's expensive enough. Your child stops asking when you're coming home. At dinner, on the rare nights you're there, the table feels too quiet for 4 people. Your partner asks once, gently, if you're happy. You give an answer that isn't really an answer. They stop asking after that. You start noticing how much easier the clubhouse feels than your own living room. You tell yourself this season is different. You've told yourself that before. Your partner starts making plans that don't include you, quietly, one at a time. You stop asking yourself if this is still worth it. It's easier not to. Your partner starts going to therapy alone. You're too busy to ask why. Your child draws a family picture at school with you standing far off to the side. The teacher mentions it gently at a parent conference you almost miss. You promise to do better. You mean it when you say it. The season starts again 2 weeks later, and the promise gets harder to keep. You miss another recital, another game, another ordinary Tuesday. Your partner stops mentioning the ordinary Tuesdays at all. You tell yourself, this is temporary. A season, a phase, a sacrifice with an end date. Some nights, alone in a hotel room, you're not sure you believe that anymore either. 2 weeks early. Someone must have said something. You spend 3 sleepless nights waiting for a phone call that could end everything. Your agent makes calls you don't ask about. You don't want to know what they cost. The test comes back clean. You don't feel relief. You feel how close it was. You start trusting fewer people. Even your closest teammates start to feel like liabilities. You stop talking in locker rooms the way you used to. A younger player asks you for advice the way you once asked a veteran. You give him a vague answer and change the subject. You recognize the exact moment on his face. You used to have that same one. You don't warn him. Some part of you doesn't want to be the only one anymore. Your partner asks for a divorce. You don't fight it. Part of you is relieved you'll have one less person to hide from. You move into a house by yourself, bigger than the one you grew up dreaming about. You call your child, they're at practice. You leave a voicemail instead. The house feels enormous at night, in a way the small apartment in Rookie Ball never did. You break a franchise record that night. There's no one to call afterward. In the days waiting for test results, you rehearse what you'll say if it comes back wrong. You never have to use the rehearsed words. That doesn't make them go away. Your agent starts screening your calls more carefully than before. You stop asking who he's talking to and what it's costing. Your partner packs slowly over several weeks, like they're giving you a chance to notice. You notice. You don't ask them to stay. Your child keeps half their things at each house now in 2 different bags. You buy a bigger bedroom for them at your new place. They use it 4 nights a month. You tell yourself the record you broke that night was worth what it cost. You say it more than once, like you're trying to convince someone. You're an all-star now, for the 4th year in a row. There's an entourage around you now. An agent, a trainer, a nutritionist, a manager for your manager. None of them knew you before the money. You wonder sometimes if that's on purpose. You've stopped eating in public. Too many phones, too many angles. You keep a list in your head of who might talk if it ever came out. The list is getting longer every year. You watch old footage of yourself from Rookie Bowl in that half-empty stadium. You don't recognize the person in it. Your trainer mentions a new substance. Undetectable for now. You don't ask questions anymore. You just nod. The nodding used to feel like something. Now it doesn't feel like anything at all. A journalist requests an interview about the secret to your longevity. You already know which lies you'll tell. You rehearse them in the mirror, the same way you used to rehearse your swing. Somewhere, your child is playing Little League. You watch a clip your ex-partner sends, alone, at 2 a.m. You don't reply. You don't know what you'd say. You buy a bigger house. You're not sure why. There's no one to fill the extra rooms. Your name gets mentioned for the Hall of Fame. Years early, you let yourself enjoy it for exactly 1 night. A former teammate calls, asking to catch up. You let it go to voicemail. You develop a routine for locking the house at night, though no one has ever tried to break in. A rookie asks for your autograph in the tunnel. You sign it without really seeing his face. He reminds you for half a second of someone. You can't place who. Your body starts needing more to do what it used to do without help. An old coach from Rookie Ball reaches out, just to say he's proud. You don't call back for 3 weeks. A statue is proposed outside the stadium. You attend the unveiling meeting alone. Your child turns 13. You send a check instead of showing up. You start to understand that you built all of this to be seen, and now no one really sees you at all. You break the all-time home run record on a Tuesday night in September. The stadium roars. Fireworks go off. Your name flashes across a screen the size of a building. You look for someone in the crowd to share it with. There's no one you'd trust to call first. The reporters ask if this is the proudest moment of your life. You say yes. That night, alone in your house, you sit with the ball from the record-breaking hit. You wonder what it's actually made of. Not the leather, the rest of it. Your child, now a teenager, is invited to the stadium for a ceremony. They come. They don't stay long. They ask you, quietly, if it's true. What people online are starting to say. You look at them, and for the first time in years, you consider telling the truth. You don't. They leave before the ceremony photos are even printed. You stay in the stadium alone long after the lights go down. You've built something enormous. You're the only one standing inside it. A sports network airs a special about your career, calling it one of the greatest of all time. You watch it alone, muted, reading the captions instead of listening. An old teammate from AA, one of the honest ones, publishes a memoir. Your name is in a footnote. You read the footnote 11 times. It doesn't say anything untrue. That's what makes it worse. The league offers you an ambassador role for retiring players. You accept, mostly to have something to say yes to. You start therapy quietly under a different name on the intake form. You cancel after the second session. Your child stops replying to your texts as quickly as they used to. A drug testing lab announces a new detection method, years more advanced than before. You spend a full week doing the math on old samples that were frozen and stored. You attend your child's high school graduation. You sit in the back, away from the cameras. It doesn't last past the parking lot, where someone recognizes you and asks for a photo. You drive home alone that night, record intact, family a little further away than it was that morning. Your body starts failing before your career officially ends. It always does for players like you. You retire in a press conference with more cameras than the day you got called up. They read your statistics out loud, every record, every number. None of the numbers say how you got them. You go home to a house full of trophies and no one to show them to. At night, you take out the old newspaper clipping your mother kept. The first one, from AA. You remember a version of yourself who thought talent alone would be enough. A federal investigation opens into performance-enhancing drug use across the league. Your name comes up. You hire the best lawyers money can still buy. You spend more on lawyers this year than you spent on your entire childhood. Old teammates stop returning your calls. You understand. You'd probably do the same. Your child, now grown, sends a short message asking if you're okay. You read it 4 times before answering. Nobody is coming to sit with you through it. You did that yourself, one small compromise at a time. A journalist publishes a long investigation with your name in the headline. The Hall of Fame vote comes and goes without your name on the list. Your old rookie glove is still in a box somewhere in the garage. You go looking for it at 2 a.m. and find it exactly where you left it, years ago. A documentary crew asks for an interview about the truth behind your career. You almost tell them everything. Almost. Your parents, both gone now, never had to watch this part. Your child visits once with a grandchild you've met only twice. The grandchild asks to see your trophies. You let them hold the smallest one. For a moment, watching a child's hands on a trophy you no longer trust, something in your chest loosens. The investigation settles quietly, with your name still attached, but no formal charge. A young player, now the league's biggest star, says your name inspired him. He doesn't know what he's inheriting. You did that yourself, one small compromise at a time. You sit with that thought until it's the only thing left in the room. You sit alone in a house full of trophies, staring at a screen replaying the record-breaking hit, already feeling less real than it did that night. You turn off the television. The silence after is louder than the stadium ever was. You think, briefly, of a small glove still sitting in a box in the garage. In a small town you don't remember the name of, a 19-year-old climbs off a bus for their first day of rookie ball, believing hard work will be enough. The cycle continues.